In this devotional, I'm going to share with you 3 thoughts from Job chapter 11, verses 7 through 12, where I'll answer the question, can we define God? Job chapter 11, verses 7 through 12 says, can you find out the deep things of God? Can you find out the limit of the Almighty? It is higher than heaven. What can you do? Deeper than Sheol. What can you know? Its measure is longer than the earth and broader than the sea. If he passes through and imprisons and summons the court, who can turn him back? For he knows worthless men when he sees iniquity. Will he not consider it? But a stupid man will get understanding when a wild donkey's colt is born a man. This is Zophar talking to Job and trying to reason with him a little bit, trying to point out that God is so vast, he's so grand, he is so great that mankind cannot fully understand him. That the only way we can know God is that he reveals himself to us. And even then, we are limited in our understanding of him because he is infinite and we are finite. Zophar points all of this out by describing the great lengths that God's power extends to, by pointing out that when the Lord sets something in place, it cannot be undone without his approval. And because of this, we recognize that God is far greater than we can possibly even imagine. So here are 3 thoughts from Job chapter 11, verses 7 through 12, answering the question, can we define God? Thought number 1, not completely. You can't define God completely, and neither can I. And the reason why we can't do that is because we are finite beings. We cannot completely define an infinite being because it just extends beyond our capacity. So because we are finite, we cannot truly understand the infinite. So we can never completely define God and all of his characteristics. We simply can't do it. We don't have sufficient intelligence or imagination in order to get that monumental task done. So as we try to define God, as we try to understand his nature and his character as he reveals himself to us in Scripture and through natural revelation, we recognize that we will never be able to fully understand or fully grasp his depths because he is an infinite being. Thought number 2, he knows himself. So we might not be able to define God, but God does know himself, and he does reveal himself to his creation, both in natural revelation and in special revelation, the scriptures. So God knows himself, and he can utilize these 2 means, natural revelation and special revelation, to show us what he is like. And this is how we come to know God, through what we see of him in the world around us and what we see of him in his word that he has revealed to us. So the Lord knows himself, and he makes himself known to us through those separate means of revelation. The fact that God knows himself means that he is knowable, but not in a complete sense by a finite, inferior being, such as yours truly. Thought number 3, he knows his creation. So the Lord knows perfectly all that he has created. And because he knows perfectly all that he has created, he is able to describe it to us in his word and utilize the creation to reveal things to us about his nature. So the fact that God knows his creation and can utilize his creation to explain his own characteristics to us is one of the ways that we come to know more about him. But we have to recognize the limitations inherent in natural revelation. We can only know so much. We can only come to define God so much because he is an ultimate being rather than a finite being. So while we might not be able to define God as clear and precisely as we would really like to, we can know enough about him through his word and through his creation to know what he is like and to know that we must rely upon him. These three thoughts come from the assigned reading of Job, chapters 11 and 12. If you'd like to read through the Bible with me, you can do so by subscribing to this channel, by clicking on the link in the description, or by joining the Facebook group Through the Bible, where we are reading the text of Scripture together.